Oh, did I talk about Elon's pay package? Dude, Elon Musk got a $1 trillion pay package. $1 trillion. The market cap of Tesla is 1.1 trillion. Now, there's some caveats. I'll explain it here, but that's the crazy headline, which is crazy. Don't get me wrong. It is crazy. Now, he has targets. He has formidable targets. And in fact, I have a graph here. This is the size that Tesla has to be. So actually, if he manages to get Tesla to $8.5 trillion in value, he'll have nearly $2 trillion. He'll be not only the world's first trillionaire, but the world's first double trillionaire. They set some loftier targets. He has to do, like, I'll see right here. He has to get $13 billion of EBITDA profit to $400 billion. But again, this number is so easy to adjust. He has to ship 1 million Optimus robots. He has to grow the market cap a certain size. But all of it, I mean, listen, this article makes it clear, and just looking at the other CEOs in the business, like, we all agree that CEO pay has gotten pretty insane. But this is a graph that I made. You already know the result. This is a graph of the highest paid CEOs, and then Elon Musk's pay package before this, which was the highest paid ever, and then the new pay package. Nobody else is even on the chart. It's so absurd. It's such an absurd amount of money. He already was the highest paid CEO ever by an absurd amount. This is like a Jimmy High Roller LeBron chart. Now, if I'm a betting man, I'll tell you he doesn't hit this, obviously. He's not going to get the $1 trillion. But the mere fact, I mean, by the way, timeline here is, a timeline here is kind of important. Elon Musk got a $50 billion pay package that was struck down by a Delaware judge saying he had too much control over the board that awarded him such an insane pay package. It was the highest one ever recorded, any CEO ever. So then he countersued and they've been working on it. But in the meantime, the Tesla team gave him a $32 billion award as like a feel good, as like a don't feel so sad about this. They just gave him, which is again, the highest pay package ever for any CEO ever. Yeah, to focus and energize him. And then now they are adding this new pay package that is being voted on that would give him, I mean, look, even if he doesn't grow the company that much, he still makes money like this or like this. But if he grows the company a lot, he's going to make, closer to $1 trillion, like just absolutely ludicrous amounts of money. It is pretty comical, but what I'll say is what it reflects Elon Musk's total necessity to Tesla's stock price. Because the company is not nearly worth $1 trillion now, and it's only there because of his ability, his distortion field, his ability to like convince people. So what they're basically saying is if he can do it again, if he can, 8x the company again, if he can really pump the stock, then they're going to give a big chunk of that to him because he's the only man who could do it. And I guess that's worth it. But, okay, there's a couple more things about this worth saying, is that Elon is also talking about, because he wants this pay package, but he also is like, hey, I think Tesla really needs to invest in my other company, XAI, which just spent $45 billion bailing me out of Twitter. Just X, I guess. So he's kind of like pawning this off on XAI and then pawning this off on Tesla public shareholders. So I hope that vote doesn't go through because that's like an insane triple dealing. SpaceX is out of it. SpaceX is over here. SpaceX is not tainted by Twitter, I guess. Yo, little offline update because I thought about this more while I was in Arizona this weekend. And I think I understand why Tesla's board is going for this comically Looney Tunes large number of a pay package, this $1 trillion pie in the sky number. Really, the goal is to entice Elon to stop working on other things. I'm not much of an Elon believer, but you have to imagine the Tesla board is. They've seen his magic work. It's made them all very rich as Tesla has gone from a small company to $1 trillion company. Is it worth that much? Some would disagree, but he got there, and that's worth saying. So they're saying, if you can get it to $8 trillion, we'll give you as much fucking money as you want. And what I have to say is, even though the $1 trillion number is so large, the goals attached to it are also large, and they're very hard to fudge. It's 1 million working robotaxis on the road. It's 1 million Optimus robots sold. It's grow the profit of the company. It's outcompete BYD worldwide, which again, Tesla's lost ground to BYD, is falling behind them in #1 EV sales. So these are all very difficult things to do. And I think what they're basically saying is, Elon, we love you, sir. And we remember when you were focused on Tesla, you made us all a lot of money. And we will do whatever it takes to get you back to that. No Neuralink, no Twitter, no politics, no SpaceX, no XAI. Just come home, Daddy Elon, and focus everything on Tesla. And I gotta say, it's a more logical gamble than maybe I initially thought. Again, from their POV, they don't care if they give him $1 trillion if he makes them collectively $7 trillion by 8xing the company size. They don't care. We as the world have to deal with the fact that we may have the world's first trillionaire. I think unlikely given these goals, but they don't care about that. They just want the company to grow. So there's some logic to it. Realistically, I don't think it pulls Elon that much away from what he's doing, because he's going to realize very quickly these goals are impossibly hard. These goals require, real executional excellence that hasn't been shown, but maybe it pulls his attention and maybe he's the guy. I don't agree with either of those, but that's the gamble, and I wanted to give it a fair shake. I wanted to explain why they did it. That's the update. Was there more I wanted to say on that? It's just funny. It's a comically large number. It is equivalent to twice the value of the gold held in Fort Knox to one CEO. They described it as such a person would have access and influence that is the first trillionaire would have access and influence that is hard to fathom. If billionaires are already reshaping the world's power dynamics, the age of trillionaires will be a wild ride. The idea that one person with $1 trillion is unfathomable. Now, again, I don't want to be overly, whatever. I don't think he's going to get it. I think they actually set targets that he will not be able to fulfill. But it is, in the off chance that he did, it'd be pretty insane to have the next highest CEO getting paid like $800 million and the #1 getting paid $1 trillion. Anyway, that's the entire economy of Poland. What's the GDP of Poland? Dude, that's crazy. That's crazy. Elon Musk gets a CEO pay of one Poland economy. One Poland plus one McDonald's. Entirety of the company McDonald's as a one man's pay. That's crazy, bro. Did you see Trump say we went woke after World War II?
So today I gave them about a 3-hour press conferences on changing the name of the Department of Defense to the Department of War. Because, we won World War I, World War II, everything in between and everything in front of it. It was called Department of War. And then we went woke after the second.
Nobody was more woke than the United States in the 50s, bro. Nobody. We were woke as you can get. Everyone had blue hair back then. They had so many pronouns you couldn't even. Eisenhower was notoriously woke. Actually, I would say Eisenhower did have that one pose. Definitely like a slay queen type pose. You know what I'm saying? This man knew details of musicals. He knew every single Hamilton lyric, before it was even written. So maybe Trump was right. We got woke after World War II. Is that really what he's going?
World War, incredible victory. And we said, let's change it to defense. And look, war means something. It means we're not going to have any problems. We don't want problems with people. And I've kept us out of wars. I've solved.
That's what defense means. What you described is what defense means. War would mean aggression. Department of War is wild. What about Department of Strong? There we go. Department of Muscles. Just change it to the base department. Now that's the new press outlet. Department of Strong Burly Men. Anyway, I will say credit to Doug. He called this on Lemonade Stand before it happened. It's crazy. Like a week after he said this, they changed it. Credit to Doug because he changed it personally. Crazy to be like deeply concerned with trying to get a Nobel Peace Prize and then for no reason at all change the Pentagon to the Department of War. Change the Department of Defense to the Department of War. Like, the only reason to do that is to sound more aggressive, to be more threatening. Zig when they zag. It's not because it's fun to chant defense. Like, if we were getting airstruck, I'd love to go defense. They're changing the name of the Pentagon? Is that separately? Changing Pentagon name. I think I saw that, but I didn't know. I thought it was just part of the Department of War. Okay, wait. The Department of Defense is now the Department of War. And then the Pentagon. Dude, they changed defense.gov to war.gov already. Whoa. I just checked. It's war.gov. It used to be defense.gov. That's crazy. This article is like talking about all the times during the campaign where he said he was the anti-war president, creating the Department of War. I don't see if the Pentagon's changing. Like, I can understand. I don't agree with, but I can understand changing the name of the Department of Defense to Department of War. Because it used to be the Department of War before World War II. But how are you going to call this anything but the Pentagon? You know, that's very aptly named. The Trumptagon. Make it a circle. Ow. Shave it down. Why did we call it the... Oh, I knew why we called it the Pentagon. Why did we make it look like this with 5 sides? Was there a reason? Was there a war reason? Why is the Pentagon a pentagon? Oh, it's because when they first built it, there was 5 roads forming a pentagon around it. So the architect designed it to fit those roads. That's interesting. And then, oh my God, and then they moved it, but President Roosevelt thought the Pentagon design was so sick, he wanted to keep it for the final building. Roosevelt's idea. Interesting. W. Roosevelt. He was right. I mean, it is cool to call it the Pentagon. It sounds like, what if it was just called, I don't even know what you'd call it if it wasn't a Pentagon. It would be so much more boring. The Square. The War Office. The Department of Defense headquarters, I guess, but it sounds lame. The Pentagon was cool. The Strong Building. The building for the strong.